All right, everyone, story time. Let me tell you guys about my day and lessons learned from today. And I got to make this quick because before the daylight escapes me, I got to go get my shower done. So I decided to go out today and, of course, do all the things that I need to do after the storm, the snowstorm. I got to go refill my propane, gas, all that kind of stuff. End up driving, and there's still ice that has melted, but there's still buildings covered with snow, right? So I went to the first place to get propane and got in a line because last time I went there, they ran out of propane. I was in line for about 35, 45 minutes before the guy decided that he no longer knew how to operate the propane tank. He was having so many problems. So he had filled up a lot of tanks, but not an RV. But he said, "Hey, can I try it on yours anyway?" Because the people in front of me, he couldn't get it to work for them. So I said, "Oh, sure, all right." He couldn't get it to work, so I said, "Let me get some gas." Well, then there were some guys who were behind me who went and assisted him and got it to working. So I said, "Oh, let me go back up there and see." Well, still, he never could get it fixed with me. But while I waited, I had conversation with the guy who was there, who was obviously infatuated with me. And this started the day, minding my business. Guy was infatuated with me, asking me all kinds of questions and things of that nature, discussing his travel plans and all kinds of things of that nature. And I'm always polite to people because it doesn't hurt to be polite to people. So I leave there, go to the next place because I still got to get propane. Get propane. The guy comes out there, and the guy is chatting it up with me, having this robust conversation. So much, in fact, after we got the propane, went in to pay for the propane, he continues to have this conversation with me and um, get into lots of different comments to where his manager was standing there. And he's like, "I'm going to get myself in trouble." And I could tell when I looked at the manager's face that, yes, he was getting himself in trouble. Because he alluded to the fact that he needed a sugar mama because this guy must be in his early 20s, right? Um, anyway, so the manager went over to him immediately as I was leaving. Okay. I go to the next store and I'm standing in line and I got all the things that I need to get, but I also purchased some yarn because I am going to make another project. I've been making a lot of different projects, and the woman was chatting it up with me, talking about different things, and gave me a helpful hint about how she cleans her dryer and stuff like that. But then she saw the yarn and she's like, "Wait, do you make blankets?" And I was like, "Yes," because I was like, "Oh, do you crochet?" Because I'm thinking that maybe that's normally what people are, asking me about for. She's like, "No, I buy blankets. I like to buy really soft handmade blankets." Oh, okay. This can be a different conversation. I make blankets, right? So anyway, this conversation went on to where this woman was so nice. She started putting my things up on the counter for me to check out for me while she was talking to me. She's like, "Well, I know I'm talking to you, but let me just do this because I know I'm just taking away from what needs to be done." Really, really helpful. Got everything done. Had multiple conversations. Um, so it made me realize that today was just a day for my communication with people to be the center of attention, because I then left that store and went to another store where I end up yet again talking to two more people, right, who wanted to have conversation with me about life, random life stuff, because people love to tell me their random life things, right? And with all those different conversations, I walked away from this going, "Man, my magnetism is just really, really, really high today." And I was trying to get back so I can plug my RV in and get my shower and stuff while the daylight is here, and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes life gets a little bit outside of your normal routine. You could be having an idea that you want to do certain things, but life decides something else needs to be done. And I bring this up because I had one final conversation before I was finally able to get in my RV. And after that final conversation, I realized some people just needed to be able to express themselves. And sometimes I'm that person that people are able to express themselves to. And sometimes it makes it really easy for them to express themselves to me because they know they won't see me again, right? But other times it's because I have this face that says, I accept you, I welcome you, I appreciate you. Because honestly, I tend to do that for most people, unless you do something to me. But in general, when I meet people, my goal is to leave them better off than they were before we met. So at one point during my conversations with one person, I laughed and he's like, "Oh my God, I love your laugh," because my laugh is truly infectious. And people used to make fun of it, but it is what it is, right? So I may have helped that person because that person may have been feeling down and that laughter may have lifted their spirits. I'll never know, but laughter is free. Smiling is free. Listening is free. And I did all of this stuff while I was shopping, waiting, doing other things. It wasn't as if this was taken away from my time, like with the propane. I had to wait for that guy to attempt to get the propane going because I was almost empty when it comes to my propane, right? So I probably could have only made it like a day and a half on what was left in my tank. Well, that's not good because it's going to be more cold weather. Okay. So when I'm standing in line, when I'm waiting and I'm having these conversations, doesn't hurt, right? We never know when somebody's last day is coming. And if it is, and you're the last person that they interacted with, I would hope that you would want to make sure that their day was at least filled with a smile or some pleasantries because they were able to interact with you. And that is my goal when I meet people, right? So part of me was like, man, I have to wait a while for this stuff. And I could have stayed in that energy and I could have gotten frustrated. I didn't. I got out and started walking and started talking to people. And I came away from that with some laughter, some joy, which of course is good for the body. They had some laughter, some joy, which is good for the body. So together with those different conversations, we were raising the vibration of this planet for a moment in time. And it is my hope for you that you're able to raise the vibration of this planet for a moment in time, at least for a small moment when you interact with somebody. That's my story time for this Saturday. Now I'm going to go do all the rest of the things that I have to do. And I hope you guys have an amazing, great, wonderful, phenomenal, fabulous, fantabulous rest of the day. And I'm going to make a second video to tell you something else that I have to say. Be well.